Hey guys, welcome to the brand new episode of Out of the Office. On this episode, we are going to explore Paris, not just Paris, but Paris underground. I would say Paris is one of my most favorite cities in the whole wide world. With its glittering lights, its lovely cities, the lovely people, Paris is always on top of my mind every time I want to go visit Europe. But this experience I have encountered a different kind of Paris because this time we visited the Empire of Death or the Paris Catacombs. Stop, here lies the Empire of Death. That's actually the sign inscribed on the wall, but I don't know this until later because it's in French. I've just descended the staircase that has taken me over 50 or 60 feet underground into the catacombs of Paris. A 200-mile underground ossuary holding the remains of an estimated 6 million people. Descending beneath the streets of Paris, after making it inside and down a seemingly never-ending staircase about 130 steps, we entered a series of underground tunnels. The entire stretch of these tunnels is close to 200 miles, but only a very small portion of that is open to the public. Many of the tunnels are short and narrow, so if enclosed spaces give you the heebie-jeebies, I'd think twice about visiting. What am I saying? You're here to see the old bones possibly infected with the plague. You're not scared of anything here, are you? The limestone quarries. Here we are in the blurry workshop. Sorry for the very low light because it makes it difficult to get decent photos in some of this tunnel. Before this tunnel became the final resting place for millions of Parisians, they were limestone quarries used for mining stones that was used in building the Notre Dame Cathedral and the Louvre, among many other places. The empty spaces where the limestones had been became the perfect place to house bones from nearby overflowing cemeteries. The Port Mahon Corridor. After passing the workshop, we came to the Port Mahon Corridor where sculptures built by a quarryman named the Cure or the Cure room. It remained intact. This is one of the fortress of Port Mahon, the largest town on the island of Minorca, where the Cure is believed to have been held prisoner for a number of years. The exhibition areas. Just before entering the ossuary, we made our way through a much more spacious section of the tunnels that led us to the final exhibition room. The Paris Catacombs. The Femurs and the tibias and the skulls, oh my. There were stocks upon stocks of bones everywhere once we entered the catacombs. There were so many of them that I forgot for a second they were very real. When I remembered that, I got a little freaky. Besides that realization, there was also the niggling thought in the back of my mind that if someone were to close the door and lock us in, we'd be spending the night with 6 million. Possibly angry because they become material sideshow souls. Just kidding. But that thought will give it away, right? The history of the Paris catacombs. So, how did these bones come to rest underground in the first place? Well, back in the late 1700s, the cemeteries des Innocents, a popular cemetery in Paris, had become so full of remains that it was a health hazard to those living around it. Plans were drawn up to begin using abandoned underground quarries to house the overflow, and in 1786, the first of many bones were brought into the Paris catacombs. Coming from the cemeteries all over the cities, at first the bones were simply just thrown into the tunnels, but it wasn't long before the curiosity of the public motivated the city to renovate the underground cemetery, allowing visitors to enter and tour the catacombs. Bones are displayed along every inch of wall space in the Paris catacombs, most of the time in tall stacks using skulls missing their jawbones as accent pieces. Here and there, bones have been laid out in more artistic formations like those that make up the barrel in the crypt of the Passion. It was in the crypt that a secret, illegal concert attended by prominent and wealthy city members took place in 1897. Talking about a unique venue, right? Taking a Paris catacombs, tours through the Paris catacombs are self-guided and approximately 45 minutes. In my opinion, after the first kilometers, it all starts looking very similar. Bones, bones, and more bones. Granted, I realize that the sheer amount of remains is part of the appeal, but there are only so many you can see before it gets a little repetitive. Photography is allowed in catacombs, but using flash is very prohibited. Your best bet is to try to shoot directly beneath the lights. Everywhere else will only produce very grainy, very blurry photos or videos like this one, unless you've got a tripod, which I highly doubt are allowed on the tours. When you eventually make your way to the exit, you'll only need to climb 83 steps to get up to the street levels. Much better than the 130 at the beginning of the tour. My final verdict: I like our Paris catacombs tour and I love a lot of the pictures I got from ears or videos, but I did not enjoy the 2-hour wait beforehand. Well, since tickets are not available for purchase online and still breeding bodies in the Paris catacombs are restricted to 200 at a time, that's the way you're looking at it if you decided to go. Well, that's all for now. See you on the next episode of Out of the Office.